And with each and every single in-breath and out-breath, there are golden, energetic gematриas, nano, tiny gematrias, and these gematrias is the flower of life, which holds all the platonic solids, holds all the gematrias, all the geometrics. And indeed, beloved, the flower of life is frequency energy by the thought forms generated by so many, but in particular, in the most recent expression within the sacred confines of a portal of light that has been established by the hearts and minds of the children of light upon the earth who have not forgotten. One of many, many ever expanding, concretized portals of light. And we come to you now as the great Amishadai, of which we are all a part of, the children of light upon the earth, whose role, as we have mentioned many times, so significant and so important. For it is a reminder of only the greatest souls, ancient indeed, that have come and made a choice to come into the lower dimensional worlds of materiality. And for these particular souls, there has always been a mission and a purpose. And we say to you, beloveds, there are many layers into this three-dimensionality reality bite you find yourselves in, for the numerous souls that have come incarnated have been a part of the expression of the collective of the sacred Gaia. In new epochs at times and in various resets of the rise and fall of civilizations. But we say to you, beloved, that there is a grand cycle of time present now to truly establish a golden age, where repeated cycles of death and rebirth have now come into a higher accelerated vibration to bring an ascension process that brings the duality into oneness and a sustainability beyond what would be considered earth linear, beyond the years that has been established in the gravitational pull of your planet, limiting it to a very finite amount. But in an ascension process of the great Gaia, and for those that in the vibratory rate of fifth dimension and beyond, that does not exist. And in fact, consciousness of an experience is expanded to make sure that all that is needed to be learned and understood and integrated can happen within one grand and amazing lifetime. Moving on next into the great ascension process, which is eternal, ever growing, ever expanding. And as the renewal comes in various time spans and in various ways, it is indeed the divine sacred collective knowing itself in its highest. And so the aspects of souls that have chosen to walk on this path indeed add to the great creational process of uniqueness. We say to you, beloveds, and we have said to you before, that indeed the great and mighty alchemist come from the children of light upon the earth, who have not forgotten the great alchemist, for they can come in the great transformative power of bringing 3 dimensions in a material world into the transfiguration, transcendence, transformation from that to 5th dimensional living and for many beyond. We want you, beloveds, to remember who you are and the power that you hold. And we say to you now to bring in the gematries, the higher octaves, to assist you, help you, reignite you, integrate and balance the vibration, known by many names, but it is indeed the flower of life, the ever-eternal, expanding, integrating, recomposition, realigning, re-expressing the one. So we ask you now, beloveds, as this gematria of wholeness and oneness, the flower of life, of which many of you can picture within your spiritual eye. And just by its name and frequency, it is already integrated into your beingness. The flower of life, whose energy has been anchored more profoundly within the portal created to expand it out now, more vividly, more dynamically, out into the world in the consciousness streams of various life forms. And indeed, beloved, it is you, the children of light upon the earth, beginning to remember their ancient of day origins and the magnitude of what it is they already know. As the veils begin to separate, and as the cosmic consciousness and triggers begin to remember things that you know. Indeed, to bring in the higher aspects of yourself, the higher knowing that exists, and now changing the very frequency bands, rising above the parameters and limitations, rising above the distortions and the miscreations, rising above the control and manipulation, rising above it all. And it is this sacred and holy space where the very, very divinity of the sacred sanctum that you hold, that every eternal aspect beyond the Ancient of Days, holding the psychic, spiritual, and cosmic memory, the one source, the eternal soul, and the vastness of all that means. And so we say to you now, beloveds, for us to begin to ignite and take pathways to ignite once again the very sacred Christ grid around the planet, to go ahead and to activate the higher gematrias. And yes, it is we who have come before to bring in the higher gematrias, to anchor it more deeply within the physical, mental, and emotional expressions of a material world. Through her children, Gaia begins to rise into these more complex forms of gematrias. And in the complexity of the gematrias that interact with the higher branches of the gematria known as the Tree of Life, that indeed there is the great anchoring of the Tree of Eden, the original thought form, the original creation. And so indeed we could say to you that that hovers It is ever so close, interweaving, as we said before. The higher realms of the heavenly realms and the earth realms now becoming more blended in ports and starts in sacred areas upon the sacred planet. And indeed, beloveds, we say to you, for those that hold the sacred portals of light, that as we have said before, the interweaving taking place, creating more as a cohesiveness instead of a division. And as you are the great weavers of light, we say to you to weave the pathways of the great flower of life. The Ancient of Days, in its formulation and in its expression, in the symbolism of all that is. And to broaden your awareness, elevate your consciousness, tap into your great power, seeing the streams from beginning to end and from end to beginning, the Alpha and the Omega. To see the magnitude of that and your part in it. Yes, indeed, beloveds. It is you that can hold and have and remember the higher heart of compassion and unconditional love. And yes, we understand that as you have bravely chose to be in the frequency band, you find yourself in a material world that holds the very history of how things have come to be, that you indeed have chosen to come and through the vibrating frequency, not as aligned in this world as you have always sensed. You did not fully belong. You have always sensed there was something different about you. And in the inner sanctuary of the divinity of you, even as the frequency band of limitation, distortion would keep it locked, it could not. We say to you, beloveds, indeed, it did the opposite. For as your struggles and your challenges, somehow you have risen above. Somehow you have moved on. And in that journey, as painful as it might have been, as hard as it might have been, as hurtful to the heart as it might have been, still yet, there's a deeper and higher love that you could not put your finger on, perhaps, that seemed to be elusive for the longest of time. But yet you've sensed it. You have sensed it, and you have always sensed it, because it's been a resonant field that has never left you. And as it continually, ever present to get your attention, and maybe it's taken lifetime after lifetime for some, it has always been present. It has nudged you along, and you have always been aware of it. Perhaps as a child, when you were really very interconnecting and knowing it. But in terms of the memory in a physical brain, easy manipulated, and the memory was wiped. Still and yet, you carry the codes. Still and yet, you know the Ancient of Days. Still and yet, you have a sense as you seek. And in all of the knocking, in all of the seeking, it has assisted and has ascended you in frequency beyond the challenges, beyond the hurt, beyond the woundedness. For indeed, the sense of you begins to realize that there is something so much more and what you are connected to. And we say to you, beloveds, as so many of the avatars of light have expressed and have shown in this creation, it is so very, very dark and dense that it does take great pain to transcend, to move beyond the illusion. And so we say to you, in that great pain, in that journey that you have taken, is what brings you to the moment of the greatest alchemist out there. The children of light ever rising against all odds for humanity's intention to be put by service to self in the duality of this creation. But the choice of service to others' resonant field remained and grew, challenge after challenge after challenge, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And so, beloveds, we say to you, you stand in a new vista. Each and every one who hears these words, you know your journey and you know how far you have come. You know your journey and you are here still because your ability to hold light is limitless. And the capacity of unconditional love that you hold so well have preserved and have anchored in a physical, mental, and emotional world and into the hearts of so many who have forgotten. And you continue to rise, beloveds. And as you rise, you spread your light as a great sun. And you spread the warmth and the rising of a brand new, brilliant day of new, unimpeded opportunities. For you've become so good at this. And we come to you to say that there is great admiration. And there is great and powerful support of which all of you now know. For it came to the point of understanding that you were never alone, even in the darkest of times. And that is what kept you going. But we say to you, beloveds, as you have increased your energy field vibration, as you begin to walk through the pathways now in ascended realms through the flower of life, as that energy now begins integrated into your field. Yes, the earth is going through great transition and changes. Yes, for many it is perceived chaos, but for you it is not. But you've gone through the challenges. You know what that is, and yet you are still here, still growing, still moving forward, still understanding, still seeking. And now it comes to where challenges is almost a laugh, because you understand that you get beyond it, you get through it, and you now know to surrender to the higher parts of yourself that navigate, guide you, assist you, and help you. That this now becomes easier and easier as the ascension is rising, and you are the ones rising with it as it rises with you. So we say to you, beloveds, all of the challenges, all of the pitfalls, all of the blockages, all of the woundedness and hurts have made you a radiant being of light, fearless and powerful. See clearly in your spiritual eye the flower of light. And as you see it and observe it, you see it as a sphere. And you look deep into it and you can see the various gematриas, pathways and nodes and intersections. And know that you've traveled along on so many of those. But now you come into more expanded pathways. Your core is strong and anchored, each and every one, unshakable. And so the new quantum is upon you. The new quantum has happened. And you move into the various ever-expanding levels of the new quantum, now anchored within each and every one. You carry the vibration of each gematria. As you visualize and see the flower of life, it'll bring to you the higher wisdom, understanding that is beyond words and communication in a material world. But you will understand it in the higher consciousness that you all possess, and now will expand that consciousness to new levels, even as you walk in a physical, mental, and emotional world. Each and every sacred in-breath and out-breath, breathing in the flower of life, moving in and through your entire being, ever expanding as you expand in consciousness, layer after layer, understanding cosmic wisdom beyond measure, integrating it even as your physical body begins to change. Take these moments now to simply see a golden, radiating, spherical flower of light. See it as it appears to you. It is golden in color. Its core is white. And as you see it in your spiritual eye, see it moving into the very cellular organelles, atomic and subatomic levels of your beingness. Moving debris, purifying, clearing, and balancing and uplifting. Vibing higher and higher and higher. You are a radiating transmitter for the flower of life, bringing unity, consciousness, balance, and anchored peace wherever you go. And now the time of the return has come. And even as we can feel that can we stay here limitlessly, eternally, we know that the time to be back in our physical, mental, and emotional expressions upon the sacred earth has come. And as such, the most radiant ones, holding the gematria of the flower of life, begin to draw in their electromagnetic field as we know automatically to draw in our electromagnetic field. But the vision and the imprint of the flower of life remains, continues to work, integrate into our physical, mental, and emotional bodies in the 3-density expression, anchoring the higher gematrias to the lower ones. And prepare ourselves on the count of 3. We will be back awake and very alert and grounded, holding the vision of the flower of life. 1, 2, take a deep breath in, and 3, we are back. We are awake. We are alert. And we are grounded.